I am Donkey Dan, Mary Jo's personal assistant. You may see me in some of the how-to videos Mary Jo's been working on, and they are wonderful. Well, I'm also down here as well, just not as often. We started this adventure early in 2023 with the wild burros. Mary Jo came home with 3 of them from a BLM sale. They were previously wild, living in the desert, eating cactus flowers, unhandled, and starving. So they were gathered up by the federal government, and the goal was to find them permanent homes and keep them out of kill pens or to slaughter. We set out to find the bigger donkeys, the ones we could train to become saddle donkeys and make them valuable to ensure that they will always have a good home and have a purpose and have a job. Right here we have Shaggy. He's a newer one. He's our smallest guy. He's only 12 hands, but he's big enough to have a job. He's going to be a small person or a child's riding donkey. Perhaps he could carry a camp into the backcountry. He's going to be a great backyard pet, but they're all going to be useful. These are not novelty creatures. They have jobs, and they like to have jobs. And today we'll see Mary Jo working on a saddle with Shaggy. And over there, that's Velma. She'll also be getting work with the saddle. Over here, I don't know if we can see her. This is Ah. She's one of the golden girls. She arrived in June. And as you see, she just leaned into me. I'm rubbing her butt cheek, literally. And something we learned by accident. In getting them ready to become saddle donkeys, in order to saddle them, they have to be ridden in a breechin. That's a leather strap that comes around underneath their tail. In preparation for getting them ready for the breechin, I've spent a lot of time scratching butts. They've become addicted to that affection. And oftentimes, while I'm down here doing things, somebody will back into me. And if you see that in a video, I'm not going to get kicked. They simply want their butt scratched. But to people who don't know any different, it could be intimidating. And over here, this is Velma. She's a little bigger. She's about 12'2", very stocky build. She's also one of the newer ones. And she was one of the last ones to take grain. But she's come along real nicely. She's going to be a good prospect for a small adult. She could probably carry a 150-pound rider and tack, no problem. Ah, she did measure in at 53 inches, which is 13 hands tall. But that was in June when she was 3 years old. I think she's grown. She's probably 13.2 now. I think she's put on another inch. Ah has been ridden. She did a good job in her round pen, and you'll see more videos, and there are videos of her being ridden. And we're really curious to see who she's going to grow up to be. All right, we got Shaggy here. He seems to be really fond of me. The cool thing with Shaggy is, well, I don't know if it's cool, but he's not a big guy, but if you look at his ears, he's got chunks and pieces missing. So back in the wild days, when he was a wild jack, okay, he had lady friends, and you probably had to fight for him. He's also, I believe, 13 years old, so he's a little old. We were nervous about a old gelding, but we took him in. He was like the last donkey at the holding facility here in Montana, and it sounded like he was going to have to go on a trip by himself to somewhere in Louisiana to a different holding facility. So here he is. We're going to turn him into something. You'll also notice in some of the other videos, my personal donkey is the large, dark mammoth. She's new to us, and currently is the most wild donkey we have here, even though she's of domestic breeding. Her background is she was a pasture companion for someone's horse, and she had been halter broke. That's it. You can put a halter on her. She doesn't lead very well. So you can see lots of videos on. And the large mammoth I was just speaking about, she'll be listed under mammoth on our playlist. She's going to be fun to watch her progression because she's 5. She's got a really good mind. She's just simply unhandled. Additionally, something Mary Jo and I really, truly appreciate about wild donkeys, and I encourage you, to take that leap and get yourself a wild donkey, is they are never been mishandled. You have what you see is what you get. You're seeing their natural personality. Yes, when they arrive, when you bring them home, they're terrified. Okay, they're afraid you're going to eat them. But the good news is nobody has mishandled them. And let me tell you, from personal experience, there's nothing more challenging in this world than a middle-aged equine, doesn't matter if it's a horse, donkey, or a mule, if it has been mishandled and mistreated, you're going to work through an endless amount of baggage. Some trainers call it a remodeling project. You're going to spend months, if not years, getting back to a starting point where you have a foundation to build on. The wilds, they've never been mishandled. They're pure and honest. And I'll tell you, there's nothing more honest than a wild donkey. Whether it's Shaggy here, he's trying to work me over for some more oats. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Today, on this next video, we'll be working with Shaggy and Velma, putting a saddle on them. Again, this was Donkey Dan. Thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Make sure you kick that like button, kick that subscribe button. We'll see you on the next video. Cheers.